Alright, we got my favorite kind of transmission, a carry-out transmission. Turbo Hydromatic 350. 9/16 on the tail housing. Now on a 350 you got to pull a speedometer gear to get the output shaft off. It goes out through the front. I'll find that using a pair of channel locks usually the best. Check your gear to see if it's concaved. ½ inch on the modulator. I'll show you how to check that in a minute. Modulator valve. And the accumulator gets you a pretty pointy scribe. Go through this hole right here. Oh, don't pop back in there. There we go. Now you can put the accumulator spring back in if you want to. Most times I either block it or just leave it alone. Pop the clip off for your governor. And check this bore up in here and make sure it's not all wallered out. Make sure your head's here real nice and tight, that your nails where they go through here is not wore out. The gear's not concaved. Make sure your valve's moving free. And on your linkage, depending on what year it is, it's either 9/16 or 15. I would venture to say it's probably 15. Yeah. ½ inch on the pump. I gotta get me a new fitting for my airline. That's annoying as hell. Which fitting it is. Seemed like I just replaced this one. I think it's this one. Let me get me a new fitting. I'll be back. Alright. That's better. ½ inch on the hand bolts. drain plug. It's going to leak all the time. Flat blade on the filter usually, sometimes they're 3/8. Kick down linkage and rod wire, the wire and the lever. 1/2 inch on the valve body. Somebody's already put a shift kit in. You can tell by the gold separator plate. So since it's got the shift kit in it, it's got this extra plate. Our servo, 9/16 up here. I'm gonna take these filters out and throw them away. You don't have to take these all the way out. Just loosen it up enough that this will come up enough that the lever will come back far enough to get the piston out. If there's a filter in this governor feed hole right here, take that thing out and throw it away. Now to get your pump out, you just stick a screwdriver between the intermediate clutches and the drum and you pry it out, or you can use a slide hammer. There's 2 threaded holes here. I just pop it out with a screwdriver. 1/2 inch on the retainer here. On the early one, all these springs and all the drums, all the pistons, even these will not be attached to the plate. They'll just be loose. You can leave your bearing on your pump, just check it, make sure it's good. Make sure that your bushings look good. Your ring lands are okay and the rings aren't seized up on the pump from it wearing out. Check your gears, make sure they're not all eat up. Check your pocket. That one's getting pretty loose. It's pretty common for these gears to be eat up. We're gonna, let's see how much plate we got in there. No, we should be okay. We don't even have 6 thousandths yet. So we're alright. Now, go in this hole right here with the screwdriver. That's where your band is anchored onto. You're going to give it a twist to the right. And pull all that out. Ooh. Forward drum is wiped out. These are intermediates. Kick down band. Check your sprag, make sure it's turning one way, locking the other. Not ring cut up in here. Directs. Looks like we might be putting a master kit in this one. The drums all broke out. I think our washer's okay. Somebody been beating the hell out of this one. Cushion plate, make sure it's not broke. Yeah, might be able to get by with just putting direct steels in it. Snap ring and retainer. Piston's okay. Make sure everything here is okay. Looks like the rest of our drum. I think our washer's okay. And you're gonna need some pretty small pliers with the tips like that. You can find the opening of your snap ring. There we go. Make sure our pinions are okay on our Planet, not wobbling around. No teeth broken. Make sure the bearing on the back's okay. Sun shell, make sure we're not stripped out. Teeth are okay on both sides. And we got a snap ring on our center support. You can kind of twist and pull. Usually the cases are getting pretty wore out on the 350. This one looks like it might be okay. Yeah, it's worn out a little bit. Okay, So we're going to have to turn it, and right up in here we can get our snap ring pliers like this. We can get on that lug and on that lug of the center support. I'm going to push on it. Allow that to all come out. There's bearing style and washer style of all these planets. Now this is what's supposed to keep that center support from eating the case out, so we'll put a case saver in there. Check our planet. Check this right here where the sprag goes into it. Check our sprag, make sure it's turning and locking. Bearings are okay. Always replace the case bushing and pump bushing no matter what. Someone's put bushings in this not that long ago, it doesn't look like. So normally on these old ones I'd put a bushing kit in them. I don't think we need to on this one. Here's our spring retainer tool. Get back here on this, find the opening. We're going to put the bar opposite or 90 degrees to where the opening of the snap ring is. Screw that all the way down. And then we need our snap ring pliers again. Get on there. Pop that snap ring off. Now, Snap-on used to make a pair of snap ring pliers that were perfect for doing this. And then they went and redesigned them. And they ain't worth crap no more. Alright, got our spring retainer out of there. Now you can do this without standing it up, but don't never stick your face in front of this when you're doing this. I have seen some of these come out of there so hard and fast that they shot up to the ceiling and put a dent in the ceiling, so do not keep your face in front of the tranny. And it didn't go back far enough. Here we go. Alright, let me wash my hands up. I'll write this up and then I'll show you on the modulator. Now on a Chevy, it's got plenty of room here. You can put 3 different style converters, and I'm not sure what the numbers are now. Back in the day they used to be the 400 one you could put in here because it had plenty of room. On the BOPs it was kind of caved in right here, and you had a dish up here, and the BOP stood for Buick, Oldsmobile, Pontiac. Instead of having the tip up here, it had a little dish right here, and it kind of caved in on the sides a little bit. And a lot of those you could not put a B3, which was the 400 converter. The other two converters that they had was a bolt style, which was a B1A, and then they had a nut and bolt style, which was the B35. So you had 3 converters that you could put in here, unless you wanted to get a one made for racing, you know, had it custom made. But those were the 3 stock ones that you could put in here. So I'm not sure what he's got. He didn't leave us a core. I think he's gonna, you know, have his own made, but we shall see. Okay, if you're gonna test them, you need a vacuum gauge. Don't get used very much anymore. What you're going to do is you're going to hook your vacuum pump up on one end of the line. You hook your modulator to the other. You don't need to hold your modulator. You're going to pump it up. Don't go too far, as long as it will hold the vacuum. Might want to leave it there for a few minutes, but as long as it will hold the vacuum, your modulator is okay. And as long as the diaphragm's moving, you can see it. You can see it move in the back. That's all there is to checking that. So, what we're going to do on this one, we got our LS kit, which is kit with clutches, filter, pump bushing always, case bushing always, no matter what. 4 direct steels, this 44-146. Those are the thinnest pressure plates that are available for the forward and directs. My advice to you is measure what you have, and then buy at least one of each of the other 2 that there are, because odds are you're going to have to play around with your clearance, because your clutches are going to be a different thickness, and if you don't have pressure plates to take up the difference or give you some extra clearance, you're going to be waiting, because you got to go buy one. So buy at least one of each of the ones that are in there. I'm getting 2 because I have 2 of the middle one of the largest ones, and then the drums are middle and large thickness. So I'm going to go with 2 thin ones just in case I end up needing both of them thin. So that's what I'm doing there. And then the forward drum with the shaft, I had to say that because if you order from WIT, there's no telling what you're going to get. You may get just the drum and not the shaft. If you order from TranStar, you're more than likely going to get the whole thing, the drum with the shaft, and then a converter, whatever he wants for a converter.